World Championship ring, the World Championship trophy, presented to the Los Angeles Lakers for their remarkable achievements. Now, one season later, again guided by Coach Bill Sharman, they set out in defense of their crown, one very talented and one very unified team. The Lakers of the 1972-73 season were together, and it became a true symphony in motion. Frustration is the key word used by most opponents when discussing the Lakers, a result of long practice sessions led by Sharman and his assistant, John Barnhill.
Here you go. Score is still 12-10. 14-10. I'm trying. Good move, good shot. 14-12. That was a good move, man. Ball. He can't shoot from there. Too deep. Cut the ball. Stop the ball. That's it. Talk.
The Lakers hold light workouts even on game days, but often these sessions seems to be more fun than work. Like when Wilt Chamberlain started a discussion about being able to touch a certain mark on the backboard.
Put their hand on a sergeant on top of the box. I heard a lot of lies. Yeah. Top of that ball. On the hand on top. I've seen that. Right here on the sergeant.
Oh, I can touch the top here, boy.
That's a long way to go. And then you got to jump.
Hey, Travis, the machine says he can get up on top of that white square.
Motherfucker, run and do it. Run and do it. No, you can't. Hey, when the machine say he can do something, you guys will believe him next time. He's almost up there.
Let's go, come on.
Hey, Jerry. No. Come on.
How did I jump better than you? Come on. Hey, one more contest.
All right, let's go.
On a team made up of stars, Coach Sharman is a unique leader. He's given each team member specific responsibilities that have produced a winning combination. So this highlight is not a game-by-game story of the season, but rather a profile of the remarkable Laker personnel and their duties, starting with the captain, Wilt Chamberlain, who has had as much to do with the Lakers' success as any other player.
My job is to get the rebounds and try to make a quick outlet pass on defense to clog the middle and try to see whether I can maybe get guys to change their offensive patterns, do something they would rather not do. Blocking shots really is an art, but the importance of blocking the shot, I believe, is trying not to block a shot where the team gets the ball back. I think that's what's important, to try to keep the ball in play. Sometimes by the mere presence, you will cause a guy to change up his shot. If the shot has been blocked once or twice, he's definitely thinking about it now, and he doesn't. It's sort of very discouraging to have your shot blocked, and you will change your shot up if you think there's a chance that someone is going to disrupt your momentum or get a chance to block your shot, and that's going to throw your shot off. So sometimes just a psychological edge of me being in the middle causes the guy to change up, even though I might not be able to do anything at all about his shot.
Chamberlain leaves no doubt that he is the great intimidator in the Laker defense, and sometimes he really makes his point. Sharman has emphasized Wilt's defense, but the greatest scorer in NBA history can still hit the hoop. In fact, Wilt became the first player ever to shoot over 70% for a full season. And for the 11th time, he led the league in rebounding. But despite these feats, there is another facet to Wilt's game.
Well, I really think next to rebounding, that the thing I'm most proud about in my game is the ability to be able to pass the basketball. My teammates rely on me being a good passer, so therefore they hustle hard to get free, knowing that if they get free, that they will get a pass that will eventually lead to a basket. And I like to work on my passing and be very proud of it. I definitely also feel though it's an extreme compliment that you can be the greatest scorer in the history of the game, and yet your team and your coach feels though that you have values that lie somewhere else that can help them be a bona fide contender.
Wilt, the tallest Laker, worked extra hard to achieve the ultimate in team play, and so did the littlest Laker, Gail Goodrich. Goodrich has become a remarkable point maker, and his defense has improved with his shooting. He led the team in scoring for the second straight year, and that's just the way Bill Sharman likes it.
I think of all the different phases of the game, he would classify me as a scorer. Coach Sharman has really given me a lot of confidence as far as my offensive play, as far as my shooting. He told me that whenever I had the shot, to go ahead and take it.
But how can Gail be successful when he's so small?
I think a lot of people fail to realize that the game is played above your head. Even though I'm only 6'1", I have very long arms, so that when I go, for instance, shoot, the ball is released much higher than the normal 6'1" player. There's more big men in professional basketball than there are in college, and they can jump a little bit higher and have a little bit better timing. So you have to learn to arch the ball a little bit more, to release the ball maybe a little bit quicker from different angles. But I've always been somewhat of a driver, or a player that's gone to the basket. And I think that when I'm doing that and moving, when I'm going to the basket, I'm usually moving a little bit better. When I'm moving a little bit better, then I'm going to get open a little bit more.
In a 7-year pro career, Gail Goodrich is now at the all-star level, and the Los Angeles fans love it. Teaming with Gail in the backcourt is perhaps the finest guard in basketball, number 44, Jerry West. He's the Laker assist leader and has now notched 13 straight years on the All-Star team. In recent years, West has become an inspiration to the Lakers because he's always at his best against the best, like Milwaukee's Oscar Robertson. Jerry is a key link in the Laker game plan.
Basically, when we're playing our best style of ball, we have a running type of team, and my job now is to sort of like a quarterback in football, to get the ball to the right man. Bill Sharman really has been responsible for, I think, our success here of late, because he's emphasized this running system, a wide-open, aggressive type of an offensive game, and certainly has paid off.
Paid off indeed. In the last 2 regular seasons, the Lakers have won 129 games and lost only 35, and right in the middle of the action has been Jerry West, perfection personified.
I guess in anything that I do, I really would like to think that I am a perfectionist. Certainly, late in my career, I've gained the reputation of being a defensive player. I've gained the reputation of being a passer and as a shooter. And I think maybe the most gratifying things in my career have come later in my career. Consistency is a very difficult thing to get.
West is a fine teacher of the game, and Jim McMillan has been a willing student.
I've learned a lot from Jerry, mainly because he plays angles and cut off the passing lanes. And I think I'm beginning to pick up that now. I anticipate certain passing lanes, mainly because I know my teammates have eliminated other passing lanes, so you take a chance knowing that we're playing a 5-man defense, and you're going to get some help if you get burned.
McMillan rarely gets burned on defense, and once he gets the ball and goes on offense, he's tough to stop. Against the Phoenix Suns, he scored a career high of 42 points, and his career is only 3 years old. Jim is a man in motion, a master of the Sharman technique.
Coach Sharman is the type of coach who emphasizes movement. He's of the school, you know, the Boston Celtic type offense where constant movement is the objective of the 5 men on the floor. So he's constantly emphasizing the fact that I should move because because of my movement, it can sometimes be contagious and get the other 4 men in motion, which creates a lot of things for everybody.
This constant movement created a lot of openings for the other Lakers, but McMillan created many openings for himself. He compiled a 19-point per game average and was at his best on the final leg of the Laker fast break. When the opponents overreacted to his driving ability, he simply pulled up for the good jump shot. And all the while, Jim McMillan was on the move. The Lakers on the road and at home missed a starting forward from the championship team. Pappy Hairston made this triumphant but temporary return to the lineup after missing most of the season. Hairston had been instrumental in the Lakers' record-breaking success a year before, but now the Lakers had to build their big leads without him. After 28 games, Happy injured his left knee. It was a tough blow to the Lakers, whose history is riddled with tragic injuries. In this case, however, Bill Bridges came to the rescue. The 10-year veteran arrived from Philadelphia and immediately took up his specialty, rebounding. Chamberlain and Bridges became the new dynamic duo under the boards, and L.A. was off again. Later, Bridges explained how he does it.
I think that primarily what I do is that I see that shot taken, I don't care who's in the way, I just make my mind up, I'm very determined that I'm going in and get it.
Bill soon pulled down his 10,000th career rebound, and then added his 10,000th point, a rare double. But rebounding is still Bridges' trademark.
Primarily, I guess, offensive rebounding I might consider to be my strongest point on offense, because I am anticipating the ball coming off the boards all the time. Before the shot goes up, I've already got myself mentally prepared by my concentration as to I've got to be in a certain position, I got to have my hands up, my eyes up looking at the ball. You got to see the ball up there and really want to go get it. It's not something that's going to come to you. So I'm not a passive rebounder, I'm very active and aggressive, and I think that's the most important aspect of rebounding.
So now, with Wilt and Bill crashing the boards and West, McMillan, and Goodrich leading the fast-breaking attack, the starting five was complete and very thorough in their work. Coach Sharman had preached teamwork and unity, and his players responded. It often seemed like this unit was one instead of five. Most teams would have been content with the likes of Bridges, West, Goodrich, McMillan, and Chamberlain. They perform with precision. But also in the Lakers squad were a couple of sleepers. Mel Counts returned to Los Angeles from Philadelphia, and Keith Erickson was healthy again. Together, these two versatile players became the Lakers' sixth man. Counts could enter the game at forward or center, and Erickson could handle either a forward or guard spot. It was a tandem that proved to be fatal to opponents, and a great salvation to the Laker regulars. Counts and Erickson came off the bench to average 14 points a game between them. Equally important was their ability to keep the Lakers running, as Keith Erickson relates and Mel Counts demonstrates.
If the team is standing around a little bit on offense, then get the ball moving. Set some screens, make the guys come off the screens, move a little bit more, just more or less pick the thing up on offense, get us into our running attack, which is really our most successful attack. On defense, same thing.
Erickson is a fierce defender, usually assigned to the opponent's toughest player. And when Counts arrives on the scene, his 7-foot frame is quite an obstacle.
I think I'm very fortunate, along with Keith Erickson, to play with the Lakers and having Bill Sharman as a coach, because playing with a good group of guys that the Lakers have, plus having an outstanding coach in Bill Sharman, has really helped me more than anything else. I feel that whether you're a rookie or whether you're a 15-year veteran, your time is going to come. It's just a matter of the individual being ready to play when the time does come.
So the Lakers were more than 5 men. It was an overall winning squad, and all were ready to play when the time came. Pat Riley, like Erickson, played either guard or forward. And a star of the future appeared in the form of rookie Jim Price. To opponents, it must seem that more than 5 Lakers are on the floor at the same time. Their swarming defense is that good. Bill Sharman's machine was in high gear. As defending world champions, the Lakers were marked men, sometimes at home and always on the road. The ultimate victory was to knock off the champion. This game in Seattle is typical. Huge crowds gathered outside to catch a glimpse of the famed Lakers. Use of tape before each game increased as the season lengthened, but the Laker players handled the increasing pressure of their title defense as expected, like cool pros. And this was typical too. For Coach Bill Sharman and the entire Laker staff, the quiet period before each ball game was a time not only to reflect on the past, but also to plan ahead just a little bit more. Seattle's largest crowd of the season jammed the Seattle Coliseum, and they literally shook the stadium. These large crowds were typical wherever the Lakers journeyed, and like the other Laker foes, the yellow-clad Sonics were very capable of beating them, and one very fast talker made that perfectly clear. The referees also got some help from the Laker bench. In the first half, the Lakers struggled to gain a slight lead. Bill Bridges got up some steam before the gun sounded, and Los Angeles had a halftime advantage of only 4, 47-43. The lead had changed hands 7 times in the first half. The never-ending battle of strategy was on. The many cuts and bruises were also attributed to being the champions. Sharman laid out a theory of movement and balanced scoring, and Seattle moved to the counterattack. The action now was not in slow motion. It soon became clear that, unlike the Lakers, Seattle was putting all their eggs in one basket. And that basket was number 24, the brilliant Spencer Haywood. In the first half alone, Haywood had 13 points and 13 rebounds, and Seattle turned him loose again in the second half. The young superstar is typical of what the Lakers were up against game after game, an extra effort to beat them. Haywood grabbed a career high of 25 rebounds, and his 25 points were high for both teams. But the Lakers stayed in the game, and Sharman, as usual, called upon his bench strength. Seattle played well, but by the time Keith Erickson reported, the tide was already turning. Jerry West broke free as the Lakers started running. Then he helped Erickson get into the act. The tenacious Laker defense closed the door on Seattle, and another team victory was in the making for Los Angeles. Gail Goodrich, in a balanced game, had 20 points. Captain Chamberlain had 20 points, 20 rebounds. Mel Count, 20 points. Jerry West, 20 points, and led in assists. Yes, this game showed exactly what the Lakers were. Not one star, but a team of stars. It was an impressive show, even to the visitors. The Lakers had a big lead as time ran out. And it was this style of victory that make all those long plane trips worthwhile. For the second year, the Lakers were the Western Conference champions. They missed a repeat world championship, but there is no doubt about the ability, about the popularity of this remarkable basketball team, the Los Angeles Lakers.